folks, hello, welcome back to the lab. And we got a quick project here. This is a something I was hoping to save, but I don't think I can save it. And people need to learn to stop drilling holes in these things and electrifying them. Oh man! But maybe I'll just see if I can find a home for the globe. We'll see. That's really the only reason I got this was for the globe. So it was cheap. Got it for the globe. And yeah, boy, we're gonna look this over and see just how bad things are here. If this ends up being in pretty nice shape, except for missing a chimney, maybe I can find one. Maybe I have one here we can get a part up of. All right, let's give this thing a look over. Eesh, kind of sad looking all over, but let's check it out. All right, well, what the heck's that all about? All right, well, let's see. Looks like, is that a repair? Looks like somebody had tried repairing it with something before drilling a hole in it, probably. This has got a color on it, like it looks like a camouflage green. Yeah. Boy, yeah, the whole chimney's just completely rotted out. Oh. Oh, jeez, look at that. Chimney came out. Wow. Wonder if this will show me at all. Oh, look at that. Wow. Yeah, at least a bulb fits over those things. There's a globe. Okay, well, jeez, wow. That's seen better days. Okay, oh wow. Something, it looks like chipmunk with all these spent sunflower seeds. So I wish I knew how that was in there. How it gets in there and how it holds in there. Doesn't really show me, but at least it came. Oh, geez, it's got painting on it. Is that painting? That ornate paint? Maybe not. Maybe it's just crap. Okay, no saving these parts. That's kind of neat. I'm going to put them in the parts bin anyway. You never know, man. You never know. So that'll get cleaned up. Oh boy. Am I going to be able to get that off? The rest of this carcass is not horrible if you discount this and the top. All right. So let's see. Boy, oh boy. Well, we got this little pin that's locked in here. I'm gonna jam something in there, hold that lock open so I can try hammering this thing out of here. I'm gonna hit this little spot here with a hammer, see if I can get this come out. Let's see. Oh, yeah, the phone's in the way here. Sorry, folks, I gotta get you out of the way here so I can swing this a little better. Oh, wow! What is coming out of that fount? Holy smokes! Wow, what a mod that was. Yikes. Oh, yeah, this was green. Okay, that looks like factory green if it's in there. I wonder. Interesting. This was an old mod, man. Wow. Dang, they got it in there right around the baffle and everything on the inside. I'm going to save this just to kind of marvel at it. It's kind of cool. Why would I save that? I have no idea why. But. Huh. So like I said, you know, make another incense burner. This is my incense burner right here, which is the fount of a DIETZ VESTA. It was not in much better shape than this one, but this is full of JB Welded. The whole inside of this thing is pretty much sealed up with JB Welded. I just threw some sand in it. All right, now we're done dealing with this thing. Yikes! Two giant piles of shit came out of that. Look at that. I wonder if that was like some kind of mud wasp nest or something, but wow. So, yeah, okay. Well, destruction is not all that bad in here. It's bad. It's not ideal, but I don't know. I don't think it's a lost cause. No, it's not a lost cause. Unless they widen this hole out too much. I'll have to compare it to another one. They might have widened that out a little too much to accommodate that socket. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's not like that's holding in the top of the burner. Let me see. Let me test it out with this. This is not a Vesta burner, but I'm just kind of looking. It is a DIETZ, but it's not a DIETZ Vesta burner. I want to see. Out there. All right. Well, this is not that bad. Really not, except for that and needing parts. I see. I did kind of. Okay. Yeah, this thing will. Yeah, all right. Well, you know what? I'm going to go over to the bench grinder, clean this up, and we'll put a solar light in it, put it outside. We'll find some kind of lens, go in there. I don't know, some kind of something. But, yeah, I don't know, man. How do you change a chimney? I was hoping that I could take it apart and see. Let me get a wire wheel on here and just play a little bit. Let's throw a wire wheel on here and do a little playing around. Why not? It's the kind of day it is. We'll play around day. First, I'll get some big chunks with this brass brush. Anything to save my drill bit. Yeah, I don't know if preserving this paint color is in the cards here with this. Well, yeah, this is really not that bad, except for the missing chimney. Of course, it's like, oh, this car runs really well, except for not having a motor. Tell you what though, this thing is producing all kinds of crap that was all in it and on it. Not the worst lantern I've ever seen. Oof. But not great, I'll tell you what. So let me go to the bench grinder, clean up on, yeah, there's gonna be no preserving this. I don't know what the year, I didn't even check what year this thing was. It is a 1929. April of 29, Syracuse, April of 29. Okay. To the bench grinder I go after we clean up another bit of mess here. I haven't even started with the Dremel yet. But trying to get rid of the big chunks first, and then we'll fine tune everything. By the way, I have another sitting right here that I picked up with this. Another badly electrified railroad lantern that didn't deserve to be electrified. And it hurt it. It hurt it, and it doesn't have a magic globe, unfortunately. All right, let me go to the, here, I'll show you real quick. Yeah, electrified. And this is an Erie. It's an Erie Railroad. It's an arm spear, New York City jobber here. It's a big boy. This one's in pretty good shape, except for that. It's too bad, and missed the globe. That's too bad. I think that's one piece. I'm assuming that, yeah. That's unfortunate. Okay. That'll be another video. All right, off to the bench grinder I go. I'll be back. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what, man. I mean, this is not the worst piece of crap best I've had in here. Just missing crucial parts. Parts I'm always looking for, burners and founts, but now a chimney, I just don't know how it goes in there. Yeah. All right. Let's take some wire wheel to this stuff, and let's just take a look around, play around for a little while. Actually, I'm gonna put the junk bit on. By the way, here's this. This took some cleaning, man. This took some CLR and a bunch of steel wool to get all the weathering off. This thing was outside probably for a half a century, just like swinging in a tree or on someone's porch with that freaking light bulb in it. But it was just covered in all kinds of junk. Took some scrubbing. But there you have it. That matches this. Huh. Okay. So first, let me start with the junk bit. Because these wheels, I don't have a whole lot of these. And we'll play with the junk bit. Any junk bits better than that one? Not really. Okay, we'll play with this one. We'll start with this one and see what we got. Yeah, let's do some playing here. Oh boy, yeah, okay. Too many weird angles for junk bit on these things. But we can have some fun with some nylon bits. That'll clean things up real nice. This is 180 grit, So this is pretty tough. Pretty tough stuff. We'll play with this for a little bit. Okay, so I'm not, I'm not, this is really kind of exploratory and having fun and learning and things. Just every time, I don't care if you do 100 of these, the 101st one, you might learn something new. But now we're just playing around now. Now I'm going to go with a 600 grit, and we'll go around and we'll throw a little steel wool on it, and then we'll be done. Maybe I'll get another couple of my other junkers down here and see if we can look at the chimney just for fun. All right, so there's hams talking in the background. Don't mind them. All right, let's hit this with a little nylon bit and continue. All right, well, we're just going to do just a quick little tidy up. I'm not going, full strength cleaning this here. We're just kind of, this is really an assessment to see what kind of future this thing has, or what it'll take to make it work again. Okay, we're going to throw some oil on this. I'm going to use the last of this thing of oil here because it's dirty. And this is a dirty lantern. I'll get a dirty brush. Dirty. We're just going to treat it. I don't know why. I kind of want to see what it looks like treated. We're just playing here, folks. All right, well, look at that. Look at this thing, man. Right? So, now, electrified. Ooh, this is dusty. This is very dusty. Hold on a second. Oh, jeez. The fountain just dropped off. But speaking of electrified, this one was also electrified, and I patched it with a piece of tin and some JB Welded, and it works great. You can see the JB Welded here and a couple other spots. And this is a fountain from some other junker somewhere. But I wonder, let's try it on. Let's try it on for size here. Well, you know what? It just needs a little bit of work. Get that to click in there. Anyway, interesting. Question is, which one do I want to be whole? This New York Central? Or this other one? There's a lot of New York Central ones out there. It does have matching globe and all that. This is 1924. This is 1929. Gotta figure out how those chimneys go in there. This one had no bail, and I made this out of a bail from a 5-gallon bucket. It was a pain in the butt to bend these, but it works and still somewhat locks at the top. So, question is, how do these things go in there, and how do they come out? Get that out of there. I kind of want to look. The spring is in the top of this, up above that. I can't tell how they are together. Or do you have to take this off to get it off? Yeah, I have to look for videos. I have to look for videos on that. Anyway. Well, I've been hating the way that this remaining oil is looking down in there, all mixed in with the rust. How do I get that out of there? Let's see. You gotta get a rag down in there with something a little beefier. I hate the wet look. I really do. I like something to look like it has a natural shine, not one that's, you know, like over putting too much armor on your car tires. It just looks stupid. Okay, so what was I looking at here? Oh yeah, so these holes should be able to get that to click in there. That just needs a little persuasion, I think. Let's see if I can kind of click that on. Let me see. Okay. It's on. It's on and locked in. All right. That's cool. Well, it fits this one a lot better than it fits this one. You can see where they wrecked the inside of this for electrification. So that's why it was having trouble holding that burner in. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what. If I can figure out how to get that off, maybe we'll make this thing complete. I have 3 other New York Centrals. Yeah, 3 of them. And I only have 5 total, so 3 of them are New York Centrals. So, yeah. Interesting thinking here. All right. Well, folks, I have come to the conclusion after much deliberation and a little input from some lantern people that may have, that had much more experience with Vestas. And I've only had, I've had, 10 total come through my, my era of collecting. Just something I started adding to my collection recently. I think I've got half a dozen of these, and most of them are just junk that I had made functional. That's what I was hoping for here. But it looks like, so I'm going to give this fount back over here. And I guess I'll just see if I can find a home for, no, wrong one. For this globe, and if they would like to have like this carcass with it, they can. But let's see how easily I can get this out. I did kind of have to tap this in with a hammer. Yep. Yeah, okay. Good. Came right out. What a shame. This thing would be functional. But it just, apparently it just weird things with all these tabs. Like you got to take all these tabs out and take this thing off and unsolder this stuff. And apparently it's just really like not worth the time. So I don't know. Maybe, maybe next winter when I ran out of projects, I'm going to try to do those kind of things. Maybe by then I'll have other junk ones, like one of these with a smashed up cage, but it does have a top. And maybe I'll try it sometime. Anyway, so, yeah. So we'll wait a second. Yeah, we'll just plop that in there to look nice. We'll get this reassembled. This never really fit back in here right because of whatever they did to it to try to electrify this thing. There we go. Oh, yeah, there. Okay. So this can go back up with the others. And my couple of high tops that I got, which are, again, those are also junkers. But let's put this back. All right, folks. So this RDG company, I think some kind of railroad, I forget. I had learned about it, and it already escaped my brain because it's been a couple days since we concluded this last time. But, so yeah. That's where we're at. Too bad. I mean, probably factory paint there, judging by where it's been sprayed on. Anyway, all right, folks, that's going to do it. That's too bad. But, I pretty much knew that answer, but, and I knew, like, well, wait a minute, I don't see any YouTube videos on people doing that. So apparently it's, yeah. All right, folks, that's going to do it here for this quick video, quick cleanup. This 1929 RDG.co, DIETZ Vesta. So, you know, if you're looking for a globe, hit me up. And if look in the comments if you see, or look in my description if you see sold, that means I found a home. So no need to ask. Just look down there. All right, folks, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for stopping by the lab once again. And as usual, don't you go changing.
We'll be back with the Magic Tunes for the Armada Room's 2-hour disco swing party after this short break. Till then, don't you go changing.
Sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.